Hello boys and girls, welcome to my channel. I'm Classic and welcome to The Descent. The Descent it is a game that was actually provided by Severitas Games, and it's a kind of a very small and well, I should say it. I think I should say it. It's a generic horror game that it is using Unreal Engine 5. And the Severitas Games provide me the copy. I know that the game it is actually nothing to talk about. I guess most of the people don't. It isn't really aware of it. It's just a walking simulator with a lot of jump scares, a lot more than necessary. They kind of had like a good sound design and all, but they rely a lot on the typical jump scares that kind of ruins the experience. But we are not here today to talk about the game, despite I decided that we should talk about it since the game copy was provided by them. I decided to take the game for a spin because it's an Unreal Engine 5 title, and because of that, I decided to cover it a little bit. The game is not using any of those Unreal Engine 5 specific features like Nanite or Lumen or anything like it. At least Lumen it is not for sure. Nanite I'm not entirely sure, but I think it's not using it. I confirmed it with the main developer. I actually did help to report some of the bugs that it still exists inside the game. The game was released some time ago already, like almost 1 month, but I wanted to cover the game as much recent as possible with the new patches because the game was released in kind of a rough state. And there is still a lot of stuff to be fixed, like the Windows shaders and stuff like that. Well, like I said, I wanted to cover this game mainly because this is a very small project from an indie developer using Unreal Engine 5, and I thought that this could be a nice example of what to be expected by small indie developer teams regarding horror games. So I decided to use The Descent as a reference. Alright, this is a game that it is a walking sim, like I said. You can finish this in like 1-2 hours, maybe 3 in the worst case scenario, and it doesn't make use of again of any special Unreal Engine 5 titles, and still it can be demanding. Alright, so first of all, I decided to take the GTX 1650 Super for a spin on it, and one of the things that I've noticed immediately is that VRAM it is pretty much full using low settings. I'm using 67% of resolution scaling with TAAU, which essentially it's upscaling from 720p to 1080p. It's a little bit like using FSR2 on its quality mode, but instead of actually using FSR, we are using the Unreal Engine built-in TAAU. And the performance that I got, it was mainly above 60 frames per second on low settings. Low settings still looks pretty good on this game, so I don't feel that we are losing anything by playing like this. Aside that, we can really notice the difference in using native resolution or using upscaling. But yeah, it is far pretty good in my opinion. It's playable, it's above 60 the majority of the time, but there might be some occasions where it does drop. Median settings, it starts to be a little bit of a mixed bag. It can run above 60 and it can also run below than 60. And the eye settings, it's just a small, it's just a little bit more demanding than median, but it is essentially that. All these settings was tested without, with upscaling. Well, yeah, we just got a jump scare. Now I'm going to try median settings in here, but like I said, all these tests was conducted with 67% of resolution scaling with TAAU because without upscaling, the game just doesn't run very well. I'm starting to have VRAM issues and a lot of stuff. So if I had to recommend a setting to play this game with the GTX 1650 Super, it certainly would be to play low settings, 67% of resolution scaling using TAAU, and it's essentially that. One thing that I would like to see the developers to use, it would be something like FSR or DLSS for supported graphic cards, mostly because this is just a plugin existing on Unreal Engine title, so I don't think it is really necessary too much work to make it work. But I do understand that Severitas Games they are really a small developer team. I'm not really sure if there is even 2 people working in this game. I only talked with one guy, and I'm not even sure if it is the only guy developing the game, to be honest. So I needed to see the credits to have an idea about that. So I think that's all that I want to talk about the performance of the Descent. You can jump to any of the specific parts of the video. So as you can see, I already got a stutter on the bridge using median settings with resolution scaling, which means that VRAM is really being punished a lot in here. So VRAM, it is certainly an issue for us. But still, even if we add more VRAM, I honestly doubt that we will get better performance. Probably we would get less stuttering, but better performance is probably something that we wouldn't get even if the graphic card was having 8 gigabytes of VRAM. So I think that's all that I want to talk about the Descent. In case you have any question about this video or about the performance on any specific graphic card on this game, just leave a comment on the comment section of the video. And I think that's it. So guys, thank you a lot for watching, and I do hope to see you soon. Goodbye.